Hey guys, this is Eileen from Love Angels Light and welcome to Love Angels Light TV. And tonight we have Catherine from the Fae Spirit.
Fae Spirit, yes.
Yay.
Fae,
We win.
short for Faerie.
And Catherine is here to talk to us about...
Yes, thank you for having me.
I just can't hear anything, but I can hear you. We might have to see if I haven't had that problem. Can Gemma hear us? Hi, no sound. Someone else has said no sound. I don't know why there's no sound.
I've got no idea because my microphone doesn't say it's mute.
No, neither does mine.
So I will just
everything on this
unmute it.
Looks fine. I don't know why there's no sound. Daryl can hear us both, so I'm going to go with there is sound. So those who can't hear us, I can do a little bit of sign language, but I'm not sure that's going to help.
Yeah, technology. So I don't know whether it's disconnecting and connecting back on.
Yeah, maybe disconnect, guys. Go out and come back in. There are quite a few of you telling us that you can hear us, so that is awesome. Thank you so much. Okay, so tonight we are talking healing. We're talking the products that Catherine does, and we're talking whatever comes through.
Yes, a whole variety of things. So, because I do work a little bit differently to most people, especially with connecting with the fairies.
That's exactly.
So, yeah. I'll explain a little bit about what that actually looks like in terms of healing as well, because that's where they come in and help me with. Because all the work that I do is around healing and helping people move forward in life and letting stuff go. So even the readings that I do, even though we give direction for what's coming up, quite often we need to clear something. So I guess the best way to describe it for people to understand is how people see angels and work with angels. It's exactly the same thing, except a different type of energy. So I can see angels as well and work with them, but I'm also able to connect to the different frequencies of the fairies. And the fairies do sit with a much lower energy, really close to the Earth's surface. So I'm able to see them, sense them, interact with them, and I'm able to channel their healing energies into water to create essences. Very similar to bark flowers or bush flowers, using the healing energy that those fairies, or it could be gargoyles, or I do work with flower fairies as well, and flower energies and crystal fairies, so lots and lots of different stuff. So, and with those energies, just like bark flowers and bush flowers and other types of vibrational remedies, that healing frequency is still within the water. It's preserved within the water. And I combine various things to make lots of different sprays. And I also use essential oils in them because everyone loves a pretty smelling spray as well.
That's true.
Yeah.
Can I ask, and guys, if you have questions, I would love for you to ask any questions you have for Catherine. I want to ask, so, you know, we all grow up as little girls. Well, we don't all grow up as little girls, but as a little girl growing up, I obviously believed in fairies, and then you hit a point where you don't believe it anymore. How did you find out that you could communicate with them and talk with them, and like how did that happen?
Yeah, look, I don't remember as a child being into fairies and that sort of thing. I do remember in my late teens seeing spirit, like late teens, early 20s, but I would see really scary stuff. So I really didn't want anything to do with it. So really working with my psychic and intuitive side, I didn't start properly connecting to that till about 15 years ago when I started some Reiki.
Yeah.
And that just started my intuition. And along the journey, part of it was to find answers for my son for healing, to help him through his medical stuff, which was quite outside the box. And that's where I come across past life stuff. And I just sort of really opened up to all these other things I had no idea about, including flower essences, which were just amazing. And I've just been in love with them ever since, and went on to become a practitioner and learn how to make them. So, and then really over the last 10 years, when I've been doing Reiki and the other body work that I do, as my intuition's increased, I've just had other beings come into my healing sessions. I was working on this lady probably about 10 years ago, and we're doing some body work and we're clearing some other energy just using Reiki. And I just got this sense, and I'm able to see stuff as well as sense and feel. So I got this sense of really bad stuff was coming our way, and it was like this great big black wave was rolling towards the room that I was working in. And then I've gone, oh, this is not good. And I've looked around, and the room was full of unicorns. Had never worked with unicorns before. And this is how most of my stuff has developed. And then as I've looked around even further, I've seen gargoyles on the roof, and they've intuitively told me what they were all there for. And early when I was learning Reiki, and in particular my bone therapy, I had amazing instructors that just said to me, trust your intuition. Just trust.
Yeah.
So I would just trust. And it also helped that the lady I was working with saw exactly the same thing I did at the exact same time. So it was really fantastic confirmation. But most of my stuff, where I've discovered I can see leprechauns and other fairies, is just while I'm doing stuff, I all of a sudden am aware of another energy, and just very, very open and accepting of it, and go, okay, so we're working with that one now too. So, and I get a lot of message from spirit.
That's amazing. So tell me about your sprays. What sort of sprays and stuff, what do you make them for? What are they?
Yeah, so I've got this range that started out as 1 or 2 sprays because I felt a few people needed it, with my Serenity spray, which is the very first one I made. Got a little bottle here. Very, wrong direction.
I get that all the time.
Fae Spirit. Yeah, so it's the very, very first one I made as a general purpose spray, and it was to help my son with his anxiety. And it contains flower energies as well as essential oils. And then I've also added other stuff to it over time as well to just increase. And I find it's a really wonderful general purpose spray. So my sprays kind of fall into 2 main categories. The ones in the coloured bottles and the ones in the clear bottles. So the clear bottles, I don't know if you can see that, it's got little crystal chips in it.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, so there's 7 sprays that are in the clear bottles. Here's another one here, Mental Clarity. And each of them resonate with your 7 chakras. And we're working a lot with the crystal fairy energy in these as well. So there's also flower essences, crystal fairies, and essential oils. And they're all specifically for helping people to be able to balance their own chakras and do some of this work themselves. And you don't have to spend a lot of time. And with all my sprays, all it is because they're vibrational, just a couple of squirts over the head, and that's really all they are. And your body's aura and energy absorbs those vibrations that are in the spray, and your body starts to match that vibration. And by matching that vibration, you move out of the one that's causing ill health or it's causing emotional imbalance. So I've got, 25 sprays now in total.
Wow.
Yeah. Yes, I keep on getting guided to go, and just make this one. So yeah, and I think Jenna, the one I made for her, it's developing into its own spray, and it's based on the enhanced intuition spray, but it's more for people who are already working with their intuition, maybe already reading, and want to connect even higher and clear off those bits that are holding them back. So I just really work with whatever spirit's guiding me to do, and I find that there seems to be a need for it. And the people that have used them, I've always had really positive feedback. And clearly, they're not going to work for everyone, just like every product doesn't work for everyone. Exactly. But for the majority, yeah, they usually have really great results, and they smell so nice too. Yes, and I use them in my healing work when I have clients, when I'm clearing stuff off, and working with the fairies and stuff as well. So yeah.
That's awesome. So we still have a few people who have sound issues. What I can say is I just got onto my phone and I've got sound on my phone. So it may be a device issue. I haven't heard. It happened last time as well.
Okay.
For one of the ladies. I'm not sure what's going on. Are
they connecting through Facebook or YouTube?
They're all Facebook.
Yeah.
It looks like they're all Facebook. So some people can, some people can't. I know I've got an iPhone and that I can get sound on. I don't know what everyone else is on, but if I wanted to hear an echo, yeah. So I don't know. Yeah. I don't know what the problem is, and I'm really sorry, guys. But it looks like. But who was it? Gemma's got subtitles as well, so that's excellent.
That's very special.
But Gina doesn't have subtitles, but she can hear us both.
Okay, so everyone's okay. It must depend on what device you're using.
That's funny. A male voice replied with awesome. That could have been me, Lenny, actually. I don't know. There you go. Daryl says go onto YouTube. If you can't hear, the feed is fine. Thank you, Daryl. There you go. Gina's on Samsung. But that's okay. All right. So what is your number one favourite thing to do? Like, what do you like to do when you're doing readings?
A lot of my readings often involve people getting on my massage table as well. So it's a really interactive process. I love clearing away. It is, yeah, I was going to say you can vouch for that. Yeah. I love clearing away those blocks, and people can have blocks that can be emotional. So I'll get into the subconscious belief system. But one of the favourite things to work with is it's usually when people are on the table and they've got some dark energy or they've got problems with moving forward in life. I love working with the leprechauns. And the leprechauns come in and they'll work with people on the table, but they only work from the ankles down when they come in and assist in a healing session. And I did have a chat with them and say, hey, and they don't like me going anywhere near the feet. I'm to leave them to do their work. And essentially what that's about, they've told me, is as we move through life, we energetically pick stuff up that prevents us from moving forward into our life purpose or moving forward into abundance. Sometimes it's past life stuff we brought with us. And sometimes people describe it as like walking on glass, or they have sore feet, but it's really disproportionate to why they should be sore. They may not be on them all the time, or there's no real medical explanation for it. And the leprechauns come in and they just put these beautiful little emerald green booties around their feet, and they just pull away all this psychic debris and clear them away. And as you know, when we can't walk properly, we can't literally move forward. So they help us to literally and energetically move forward in life. So, and they're such fun to work with. They they're mischievous and they love to giggle and have a great time. And they're also in my abundance spray because they, you know, the good luck, pot of gold, all that sort of stuff.
Yes.
Yeah, and they're a lot of fun, and I find children in particular really connect with their energy, and children will get quite giggly if they've used the abundance spray.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, really lovely to watch.
That's funny. That's hilarious. That's awesome. I would love to use that on my kids.
We'll have to try that out. So, and one of the other things that pixies and gnomes love to help with is I find people who have got depression and that sort of thing will carry like a dark misty energy within their aura, within their body, and they love to come in and they'll actually fly in and pull bits of this dark energy out of the person and take it away to be recycled back into Mother Earth and into something positive. And the gnomes will often show up so I can hand energy off to them so they can take it back down to be recycled as well. So it's one way that I work with them in a healing session. The other way is using the sprays and connecting with the flower fairies and the crystal fairies and all that sort of stuff as well. So they're all different. Every session's different.
It sounds really interesting, and having actually had a session with you at a fair, amazing. You do amazing work.
Thank you.
The difference that your work makes the difference it made in my body. And I was just literally sitting here thinking, you know, after I had your session, things changed in my life abundantly. So I might have to blame.
If it was good abundance, I'm happy to take the blame. So yeah, but there's definitely a connection because we carry our physical conditions can come as a result of our belief systems or carrying emotional stuff that we're storing in our bodies, and we store different things in different parts of our body. So, and I'm able to see or sense some of that stuff as well. I can feel if someone's really anxious, and spirit really directs me also to exactly what I need to ask and where I need to go.
Yeah.
So, and I've had a few people ask me recently, who is it that I talk with besides all the other magical fairies and leprechauns? Yeah. And I don't specifically work with my guides. I actually work with a group of 5 beings that have never been earthbound, and they just call themselves they or them. And so I'm directly linking in with the collective consciousness for the information. So yeah, which is really great. So they can point me in the right direction really quickly. So
that's
yeah.
Awesome. All right, I've got a question from Lenny. Here we go. How do you actually see fairy energy? Is it like seeing speckles of blue or purple light?
I can actually see the fairies as they appear in their own world, in their own realm. Sometimes I see them as energy. I take loads and loads of photographs when I'm out in nature. And if you want them to show up in your photos, you need to ask permission. And if they're willing to show up in your photos as well. And quite often in my photos, they'll actually show up in their physical form as well. Sometimes they're an orb, but it's generally not an orb. I see them like you would see a person walking around. So I have that really clear vision of them. When it's more like tree spirits, I can also see the aura of a tree and sense the tree energies. I can also connect with rocks, to the stone people. So everything's vibrational. So I've been able to connect, I think, with just about everything that sits in the Earth's energy fields, which I feel very fortunate to be able to do. And yeah, I do see them as little or not so little beings.
Yeah, perfect.
So yeah, and they all do look different.
All right. So we do have a couple of questions, a couple of requests for readings.
Yeah, what are they requesting?
I'm just scrolling.
I've just all of a sudden got some stuff happening in my stomach, whether somebody's got some digestive issues. I'm not sure who's asked a question. So yeah, quite a band of pain across the stomach.
Before we get to that, I would love to see fairies. Are they tricksters like some people say?
Yes, they can be. And that's because unlike angels, fairies have egos and they do actually judge us, but they actually judge us on how we treat the environment and how we treat animals, because they're here to help the environment and the animals. So if we don't be respectful for those things, they will definitely play tricks on you. They do like to have fun, and they do like a little bit of warning if you're going to go out and mow the lawn and all that sort of thing as well. But they're not all tricksters, but some of them definitely are much more than others. I think they get a little bit of a bad rap. They're not as bad as what people think, and they do a lot of other really great stuff that we don't realise out in nature to help Mother Nature and help the plants and animals.
Awesome. All right. We've had 2 people claim the digestive issues. We've got Lenny saying that's me. And I know Lenny's had digestive issues for a while, but Barbara Jane also says that she has digestive problems.
Getting a sense of reflux or even a tightness of the stomach. So I don't think it's a gastric band, but I'm getting a restriction. So I don't think it's Lenny. But whatever is going on there is emotional. That's why I've picked it up. So what was the lady's name again? Barbara Jane. Yeah. Yeah, and I feel like she's had this going on for quite a long time. Just going to try to work out why, what we need to do to actually change this for Barbara Jane, because I'm able to do this work remotely as well. I feel like they're sending me something to do with feeling sick to the stomach about a situation.
I don't know what that actually means.
No, I'm not sure either. Chelsea, yeah. But what they're saying to me is something's going on for her that she feels very uncomfortable with. Yep, digestive problems.
Yeah, I just flicked back to that one.
Yeah, so the emotional.
Barrett Phagus? I don't know. I'm going to Google.
Okay. Well, the emotional stuff that I'm getting behind it is I feel like there's a situation that's been going on for some time. They're saying with a family member that doesn't sit well with her. She's really not liking the situation itself. And they're saying she's pushed it down and internalized it to a degree, and it's literally making her feel sick to the stomach. So their advice is to, that she can't actually change this situation herself, but she needs to not hold it in her body. So I would suggest Barbara Jane to do some writing, just to write it all out, how you feel about everything. And you don't show anyone. It's just about getting it out of your body. They're saying you need to get it out of your body because they're showing me it's stuck down there and it causes pressure. And they said you can't actually change the situation, which you're aware of. But this is what's sitting with you. So yeah, so hopefully that makes sense. So do some writing and just keep writing and writing and writing and writing until you feel like you've got nothing else left to write, and then dispose of it so no one else can read it. It's about getting it out and getting it gone. And probably do some grounding. They're saying go out and bury it, dig a nice little hole or decent hole, rip it up and stick it back in the earth and cover it all up. So get rid of it. So, yeah.
I like that. That's a good comment.
It's a different one, isn't it?
Yeah. Jodie's just posted this. This is so fascinating. It's opening up a whole new world to me, which is good. This is what I like to do.
Oh, look, I love this as well. And so much of the energies I work with, we're told that they're fairy tales, that they're make-believe, and this stuff isn't real. But just because most people can't see it, doesn't make it not real, just like angels. Yeah, so, and I love helping to educate people, and I learn more myself every day. So, yeah, and there's so much to learn.
That's very true.
Yeah.
All right. So we had a question from Jess Marie, which I'm going to put up.
Yeah.
I'll just love a reading in regards to future. I also am interested in past lives. Can you give me some info on how to find out more about that?
So what I'm getting immediately is the curiosity around those past lives, why you actually want to know. I feel like there's some repeating theme or lesson through your life that doesn't quite make sense to you, that you've been repeating for many, many lifetimes. And sometimes we get curious about our past lives to resolve these. I'm going to do a little bit of a future thing for you in a moment, but what they're saying to me is taking you back to these past lives. In terms of finding out more, the work I do with past lives is about what you've brought with you to this current life and how it's impacting on you in a negative way or possibly holding you back. I've worked with clients that have had, past lives where they've had multiple ankle traumas, and no matter what they did in this lifetime, they kept on rolling their ankles, even on flat ground, with no real reason, and this was a lifetime problem. We went back and disconnected all the past lives that were related to these ankle traumas, and some of them ankle had been decapitated or they'd broken it several times, just multiple traumas, and energetically they brought this with them to this life. So we disconnect and cleared that, which I work with Archangel Michael with, and using other energy techniques. So whenever I work, and she hasn't had any problems with her ankles since, that was 3 years ago. So it's working out that connection. So any stuff I do with past lives is generally around that healing work that we need to do. But I do believe Eileen does a little bit of stuff with past lives these days. Depending on why you're wanting to explore them. If you're just wanting to go back to one just to see what happened, yeah, use your intuition and seek out the right person for you. So in terms of future reading, they're just suggesting to me to pull a card or two from my deck in development. It's literally just a little thing of reasonably plain cards at this stage. So it will be eventually a beautiful deck. And
I just had a picture of them yesterday.
Yes, and they're based on the energies, the fairy energies and earth energies I work with. And I've actually made essences up that correspond to most of those cards. So personal healing blends will be able to be happening hopefully in the near future as well. So in terms of Jess Marie, something for the future, they're saying I'm going to pull 2 cards for you for some guidance for your future. One's just come flying out at me. And they're saying in terms of the future, these are some suggestions for you to be able to move forward healthily in your future. Because I've just pulled out Lord Pan, and he's really about getting out in nature. It's about creation. They're really bringing me to the word creation with him. So just working out what extra information they're going to give me on this one. because I feel like it's something new coming into your life. They're saying creation, but they're also saying child, but I'm not sure that that's correct. I think it's the birth of something new, because not seeing the actual physical child. So, but I think something very new is going to come into your life in the near future. They're saying near future, 2 to 3 months. And I feel like it'll be quite a change. And we'll just see what else we've got to go with that. They're not giving me any area of life in particular that this is going to affect. They sometimes like to leave a bit of mystery as well. Yeah, the next card I've just drawn is, it's got a tiny little bit of a picture on there, but it's actually one of my personal dragons called Charlie. Very dragon name. He's a fire dragon. He breathes fire and ice and smoke. And he's all about protection, but he's also about clearing attachments and clearing off sticky energy and kind of cords of attachment that you don't need, that are stopping you from moving into your future. So I'd probably suggest that you do a little bit of clearing work, some cord cutting with Archangel Michael. Actually, he's coming in right now to cut some cords for you, because I feel like you've been really stuck. They're showing me the wheels are turning, but you haven't been able to make much forward motion. So working in combination with Charlie and with the Lord Pan energy as well, you'll be able to let this stuff go that's holding you back to move into the new. And I feel like once you really decide to let this stuff go, because I feel like part of you is not ready to let it all go. And in terms of what that is, they said, we don't need to go into too much detail. But some of it's also some heavy energy that you've picked up. I feel like you've had some quite some periods of time where you've really struggled with life, and it's left some heavier, sticky energy on you. So I'm actually going to send a fire dragon over to you to help remove some of this stuff. He's going to go and do that work for you now. So some people can feel him working. It's not actually Charlie, it's one of his relatives. And you may feel some warmth, or they're saying to me, you may smell a little bit of smoke as he burns this stuff away. And the effects of this will continue to work and detach and dissolve for the next 2 to 3 days. But it's also up to you to do the actions to move forward as well. So hopefully that gives you a little bit of direction for the future, but you need to let that other stuff go first. So yeah, hopefully that made sense.
All right. She actually said spot on, pretty close to when you started talking. So.
Oh, thank you.
All right. We have. She says amazing. Thank you. I don't know if you see the comments.
Glad to help.
All right.
Yeah, and once this is finished, she should sit quietly and let the dragons do that work. Bit hard to focus while we're doing this.
Yeah. All right. So Gina wanted to know, is there anything for her tonight, please?
What I get immediately is worry and anxiety. Like her brain goes 100 miles an hour all the time. So much to think about, so much to do. And switching off is a problem. And I feel like the current situation has just heightened this, that Gina was already a really big thinker before all the virus stuff, and this has just added another layer on top of it. And I sort of feel like her flight and fight is definitely activated at the moment, and she really can't relax. And there's a lot of people that are experiencing this at the moment, so Gina's not the only one. What I'm getting through immediately for Gina, and again, I'm going to actually delay. No, they're saying they want to go straight away. I'm going to work with, because I'm thinking, we're all watching this, so it's a bit hard to get healing done while we're watching. But I'm actually going to use the clear fluorite crystal fairies. And it's an energy I use a lot of. I can channel crystal energy like I do Reiki as well. And when I'm working with clients who are anxious, but also constantly the brain is going 100 miles an hour, and it's and jump from thought to thought. Sometimes having problems finishing sentences because you're already on the next thing that you need to think about. So I'm going to send some clear fluorite fairies over right now, and what they're going to do is work through the head. They help to literally slow down the brain, just to bring it feels like it's slow, but it's not. It's actually back to a more normal rate. So, and they'll take about 5 or 10 minutes to do this. And whenever I work with the clear fluorite energy, what they show me is these fairies go into the brain and they show me the brain like a great big library. And in this library, it's really messy. Books are everywhere, rubbish everywhere, and everything's all disorganized. So it's really hard to actually find what you need when you want to remember it. And it's really hard to file it away. You're just chucking stuff everywhere. So what these fairies essentially do, and they go in and they put everything back where it belongs. They file things away in the right place and they clean up the rubbish and literally take out the bags of rubbish. And what happens is when we get order and organisation through using these energies, the brain slows and you're able to have better clarity of thought. You're able to remember things. And really importantly, it makes it easy to switch off to go to sleep at night time. So even having a piece of clear fluorite and putting under your pillow at night time, Gina, can help you go off to sleep. And I also do a sleep spray, which I don't have it out here next to me at the moment, where I've got some beautiful energies in there. And they're actually suggesting that this would really benefit you to actually use, because in this spray I have a sunset essence. And the sunset is all about letting go of the end of the day. It's about the day is done, it's time to release it. But also watching a sunset on a soul level, you know that that sun's going to come back up again. So it helps to reinstate trust on a soul level as well. So they're saying watching a sunset probably at least three times a week would actually help you calm as well. And when you're watching it, just remind yourself that it's time to let go of your day. It's time to release. And even if when you're going to bed, you're visualizing that as well. That could be a really good tool to use. So yeah. So I'm hoping that's on the mark for Gina.
Oh yeah, she's definitely.
Yeah, and these clear fluorite fairies they're showing me actively in there doing their bit at the moment.
Excellent.
So, yeah. And it should release that pressure she's got in her head as well.
Which will be good. All right.
Yeah.
We've got Robin asking, would love to hear what the Faerie Energy had to say about my love life, please.
Okay. They're having all sorts of fun with this one. they're literally jumping in many different directions. They're saying, don't do it.
The fairies have any information on my current love life, please? Is he the right one? Thanks so much.
Okay, only just the first, yeah, because I've only just seen that because of just going, they said, don't do it, is what they kept on saying, but they're literally jumping from spot to spot all over the place. I feel like you don't really have a clear idea of what you want in a partner. You got an idea of the general picture and that you want someone special, but you're not quite sure exactly what that looks like. Yeah, they're just saying to me, don't do it, and they're jumping all over the place. So, and I'm not sure what your situation is in terms of is he the right one, but they're just saying, just don't do it. I'm not sure whether you're thinking about making some a decision together or something like that. I don't know. But they're saying that you need to have a little look at what your idea of your ideal partner is. because you kind of have the answer to this already. And so literally writing out a list and saying, in your ideal partner, this is what you would like. And it's, stuff like how you're treated, what type of work ethic do they have, are you on the same page with your beliefs? And you don't want someone's going to match you for everything, because you need, that would just be boring. You need some variety as well. But really have a think about what are deal breakers for you. And then they're saying to me, then the follow-on from that, because I feel like you've done a little bit of that, but the follow-on for that is valuing yourself enough to say, no, these are my deal breakers, and following that. Because there is definitely, the right fellow is absolutely out there for you, but you need to believe you deserve that as well. So hopefully that helps.
Yeah, she said she's been with him for 2 years.
Yeah, so I feel like there's something, maybe they might be going to commit to something or make a decision on something. So they're not showing me the relationship ending, they're just showing me that, they're just saying don't do it. And given she's already been in the relationship, she's already doing the relationship. So, yeah, I feel like it's about a decision within the relationship.
Yeah. All right. We have Tina. She would love to know if she's finally released herself emotionally from a toxic relationship, please.
Tina has been doing a lot of work. So releasing herself emotionally. They're saying to me, they're using the words energetically. So I feel like some of this still sits in Tina's energy from the relationship. I feel like Tina's done a lot of work to emotionally move past this and do all the great human stuff to move forward. But I feel like energetically there's still stuff sitting in Tina, and possibly need to look at some subconscious belief systems to really finish off this work. I feel like she's just about there, but there's some sort of programming going in the subconscious mind as well that's not matching what her conscious thought is wanting to move forward. And I feel like it's about deserving, truly feeling like she deserves to be treated well. And, if we were doing a session, there'd be quite a simple process I would do to reset that one, with getting the subconscious mind and repeating stuff after me. And we can reset stuff very quickly to change that. But I feel like she's done a lot of work, but energetically we're just not matched that yet. They sort of sit on different levels. But she's done a great job so far. Tina's done a great job of doing the work so far.
Yeah. All right, we have actually before I hit Robin, Gemma's question. Robin said, "Thank you so much. Fairy work is extraordinary. A few decisions to make, so thank you."
Okay.
All right. So Gemma, I have 2 questions. Why are my feet sore, mostly the left, and can the gargoyles help me get a job at the placement place I'm currently at?
Yeah, so gargoyles, we want to work with a different energy for jobs. So gargoyles are about protection. They're about keeping us safe, and about keeping spaces safe. And this is why through history churches, they put gargoyles on, and that's saying they ward off all evil sort of thing. So gargoyles can keep you safe and keep you protected. But in terms of getting you the job at the place you're currently working at, so obviously you really like working there. I feel like the feet and getting the job are connected. They're also giving me a bit of a headache, more through the forehead. So I feel like it's an intuition thing as well, that she's not quite trusting her gut feeling on this. that she needs to do some stuff but keeps on going against it for some reason. They just want to ask a question back. What does she think is stopping her from getting the job? Because she has some answers to this. In terms of using fairies to help get the job, I would suggest using leprechauns. Also working with the four-leaf clover energy, so all your traditional stuff, and citrine fairies. If there's a specific role at this placement where you're working, write down exactly what it is in your job or the role that you want. So if this job has a title, write the title. Preferably use green paper, because the colour green is the vibration that matches abundance. And abundance isn't just money, it's about getting more of what you want into your life. And given this is a placement, you want a paid job. So write it down really specifically, and write it down as if it's already happened. So even make yourself up a mock business card that you already have this job. But I feel like part of you is doubting yourself with this role, and that's part of the sore foot. Leprechauns, you can call them in to, they're actually going to come and help you right now, they're saying. So I'm going to send them over to you, and they're going to work through your feet. People often feel warm, tingly sensations, and they're going to pull out. They're showing me a really, really big piece of glass stuck energetically through the bottom of your left foot. And they're also saying that this is a bit of self-sabotage on your part. You've actually put it there and it's not a conscious thing. It's tied up in you feeling confident enough to go into this role. I feel like some of the other people in the placement, you may be a little bit intimidated by how well they do their job. And it's not a conscious thing. But you need to back yourself. They're saying you can absolutely get a position there, but you need to back yourself as well. They're just about finished taking all that stuff out of your feet. They're going to stay, this energy is going to stay around your feet for, they're saying overnight. So your feet might feel a little bit warmer than normal, or just feel a bit different. But absolutely you can get this job, but you need to believe that you can do it as well. So I'm hoping that all made sense.
I feel like I'm not their ideal candidate. I feel like I'm a bit different. I'm in hair salon training. I finish in 4 weeks and have thought I could go back and upskill in barbering.
Yeah, look, if you're feeling like, yeah, just what I was saying, you feel like you're not backing yourself. And being different is good. Coming from someone who sees fairies and talks to all sorts of things that no one else sees. We all don't want to be the same. We want to be different. And if this particular hairdressing salon is not where you feel you fit, there will be one out there that you will fit. And they're also saying to me, just because you feel different doesn't mean that they see you as different as well. And having someone that has a different personality or a little bit different to everyone else in the salon is going to draw a different clientele in. So, and people who want you to cut their hair will be drawn to you no matter where you work anyway. I don't feel like you need to go do extra upskilling at the moment. I feel like you just need to back yourself a little bit more and trust in your own ability. And, you know, lift your head a little bit more and walk more confidently, because they're saying to me, you've got this, you can do this, and you just need to believe it.
Does this also mean I quit?
Quit Woolies, wow. They're not going to give me an answer on that one because there's too many variables. So it depends on how you move forward from now. But eventually one day you will quit Woolies. You're not going to be there forever. Very few people are. But it pays the bills.
It does. And that's important. All right.
Yeah.
Tina came back and said she's been doing the subconscious limiting belief work and spot on, it's energetic. Do you have a mantra for me to work on specifically, please?
I don't usually use mantras. The way I would normally work would be to get into what that belief system is and just go straight in and change it and done. So if she wants to contact me for an appointment, I'm more than happy to do that through Zoom or through FaceTime, because as we can see, all this work can be done remotely as well. But I believe that, especially with a belief system, if it's tripping you up, once we identify it, we need to change it straight away and replace it with something positive. And I feel like some of the old trauma emotions are still buried and can be triggered in the future. So we need to actually take the emotion out of some of these events that have happened in the past, so you don't continually to get triggered. And these triggers will be randomly out of the blue when you least expect them. And the way I work is we just get in and change it, and it usually occurs fairly instantly. So I think we did some of that work when we did your session, didn't we, Eileen? We did some belief system stuff. Pardon?
We did a lot of things.
Yeah, I can cover a lot.
You pulled things out of my knee and put starlight into it, so that was cool.
I did.
I'm pretty sure we had leprechauns at my feet too.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we did as well.
Yeah.
So leprechauns just love to help.
That's right. I'm just putting a link to your page in the comments. Yes. There it is.
Yeah, don't try to get on my website till I find it again tomorrow. I may have accidentally lost it. Just saying. I was making things better. So I'm going to fix that tomorrow. Yeah.
All right.
Change of domains.
That's funny.
Certainly can contact me through Facebook.
That's pretty funny.
Yep.
I usually send people's Facebook pages because hopefully they're keeping them up to date, because that's where everyone's at the moment.
Yeah, Facebook definitely can contact me through Facebook. I have not lost it.
There you go. Gemma has liked your page and says thanks for the reading.
No worries. My pleasure.
Awesome. Let's have a look through. Natalie says, there you go. I would like to know if the fairies have any advice or guidance for me. I feel run down and heavy. Thank you.
Okay. I feel like the rundown has been for quite some time, and it's now just gotten to the stage where the body's feeling physically heavy, as well as tired. What's immediately coming through is lots of yellow. They're showing me wattle, lots of sunshine wattle. So one of the things you can do, we can use the wattle fairies will go across, but we can also use a picture of a flower. Like you can go online and get a photograph of wattle if you don't have a wattle tree handy. But sitting with wattle helps you to find that joy in life again, and it helps you to find that spark and enthusiasm and find your laughter, which works to change that heavy energy. They're saying a lot of this sits in the solar plexus, that I feel like over time you've given away your personal power to a degree, and you've got a sense of having no control over some situation, a bit powerless. So we really need to have a look at working on the solar plexus chakra to rebalance that. And they're also saying you need stability through the base chakra. So get outside as well, just for some grounding and earthing. They're showing me you just sitting in green grass, and just letting nature do its thing for you. And as you sit there visualizing all the heavy energy and all the heaviness just pouring back into Mother Earth to be transformed into something positive. And I feel like this is something you really need to really start addressing before it does progress further into a chronic condition. And it's underpinned by this feeling of helplessness, where the situation may be you can't see where you have any control, but it's about shifting the way you're looking at it, or trying to move yourself out of that situation. And that's what's causing you to feel more and more run down. And if you continue to get more and more run down and feeling heavy, that heaviness can go through to the muscles feeling so heavy that they don't want to work, which can then lead down into more chronic things like chronic fatigue. So, and they're really strongly showing me base chakra and solar plexus, and lots of yellow. They're saying even wear yellow. They're saying yellow is the vibration you really need to surround yourself in at the moment. So I hope that makes sense.
Awesome. I have
Lisa?
Anything for me tonight, please? Feeling a little anxious, heart palpitations tonight.
I feel like Lisa's really worried about someone else more than herself. They're going to be fine. The worry is unnecessary is what they're saying. Your worry is unnecessary. What I'm going to do, I'm actually just going to pull a card and we'll see what the Faerie energies want me to tell you tonight. And I feel like, what have we got here? So I've actually pulled two cards for Lisa. And one of the first one's Sea Rock Energy. And the rocks of the sea bring with them this message that sometimes it's time to sort of withdraw a little bit from the world, to not so much go within, but to take shelter from the world. Don't be out there in the busyness. It's okay to retreat into your own little area, your own space at the moment. And sometimes we need to do that in order for the storm to pass, for us to come out the other side. And it's okay to not want to get out there with everyone else. And the other card that I've pulled up, which is going to go really hand in hand, is the Moss Agate Fairies, which are also about new beginnings. So they're saying whatever's going on for you that's making you feel anxious, you know, it's okay. Do what you need to do to work through your anxiety. I feel like you've got tools that you would normally use to manage your anxiety, but also not to beat yourself up about it. Sometimes it's okay to not be 100% comfortable with things, and it's okay to withdraw from a situation. But they're also saying it's going to work out fine. In the end, it's going to be fine. Again, the fairies are saying unnecessary worry. So you don't need to be worrying. They're saying worry for no purpose. It's going to be okay. Hopefully that makes sense for Lisa.
We hope so. Okay, so Kathy says, hello, are you drawn to me at all? I'm in a bit of a rut at the moment since my son passed. Just knowing if he's okay or anything would be great.
Yeah, he's fine. He is absolutely fine. In fact, he's more than fine. I'm getting a very vibrant energy from him. Getting two different lots of stuff coming through, so I'm just deciphering which we're dealing with. Because I also feel like you've got some physical, that Kathy's got some physical symptoms going on with headaches and just heady is what I'm getting, is heady, like congestion and heady. And I think it's causing her to like see life in a bit of a fog, not being able to see through the right direction. And her son's now popping back in. He's saying he's fine. It's I've just got two different things that are just jumping in and jumping in from completely different directions. But yeah, no, he's fine. He absolutely is. He's waiting for the right time to come to visit you. He's about, but not too close. He said when the time's right, he'll let you know that he's around. But he's absolutely okay. Absolutely okay. And he wants you to focus on yourself, to focus on what you've got going on in terms of, he said, pick life back up again, and start getting out of the house. He's saying specifically getting out of the house. And, you know, logic tells us we've been in lockdown, so we've all been in the house. But I feel like Kathy's remained in the house a lot more than what she potentially could have gone out at different times, not wanting to deal with the big world out there. And it's probably time to step back outside the front door. So yeah, but he's definitely fine, and he'll come through when you're ready. And you need to do some of the human grief stuff first before he'll come back through for you, for you to sense or feel his presence. So yeah.
Yeah. All right. We're just going to do a couple more. Rach is saying, I'm wondering why I can't get well. It's not one thing. If it's not one thing, it's something else. Any advice, please?
What immediately pops to mind is they're saying to me, why do you believe you don't deserve to be well? What are you punishing yourself for? So in terms of answering your question, they've just asked me to pose those questions. And they're saying, and nothing else, sorry. It's about reflecting back a little bit more about what's going on for you, Rach, in your belief systems. And I feel like something deep down is a self-sabotage that's running. And the Faeries just saying, why don't you want to get better? Why do you need to punish yourself? So, and I feel like Rach has got the capacity to reflect on that and get some answers herself, because sometimes we need to work ourselves. So, yeah.
Yep.
Sorry, not a lot of an answer there.
She said, how do I stop that?
So I would suggest a meditation and listening to her own intuition and then following it. So they're saying there's a bit of a gap between knowing what you should do and actually following through on those steps, because they're saying that yeah, she can definitely do it. Yeah, and our conscious mind is separate from the subconscious mind. So we're aware of our conscious thoughts. We're talking and what we're thinking, but the subconscious sits there. And we sometimes talk about self-sabotage, but we don't know why we're doing it. And underneath, going constantly, is our subconscious mind in the background running. And it's like all the other computer programs that run in the background to make your Word document happen as you type. So that subconscious mind in the background's running these programs that at some stage it started to believe for some reason. And I feel like they started back, they're saying, in early teen years for some of them. So they're probably going back to an event that happened. And it doesn't always need to be a big significant event. It just could be one where all of a sudden you've gone, oh, okay, well, I'm not a good person, or don't deserve to have that. Someone might have just said something flippantly and offhanded, and all of a sudden the subconscious mind's gone, oh, I'll own that. And then you've got this playing in the background that you're not aware of, sabotage going on, and no matter what you do, it's really hard for you to go against that. But I feel like through some meditation, you can probably hit on some of this stuff. And I feel like there's maybe some other intuitive type work that you probably do that you could probably use.
It's one of the reasons I love hypnotherapy, is because it bypasses your conscious mind and goes straight for the meaty stuff.
Yeah.
Not that it makes me excited or anything.
Oh, no, it's cool fun. It is cool fun, because I have done.
My husband said to me, my husband goes, I think you're actually a Jedi, sweetie. And I'm going, what do you mean? He's gone, you can actually change people's minds.
Yeah, it's cool.
It's pretty cool.
Powerful for their life.
Yes.
Yeah, powerful change.
It is awesome. And it's the whole conscious, subconscious, unconscious. Like, there's the 3 levels, and actually explaining to people that the change needs to happen down in the unconscious mind. So past all that other stuff, you've got to get in really, really deep. And that's why you have to go into that trance state, so that your conscious mind doesn't try and take over.
That's exactly right. And it's quite similar to some of the work that I do when we're going in and changing this stuff. And especially when I'm taking the emotion out of trauma. I certainly take people quite deep into that state. But in terms of resetting these belief systems, again, if Rach wants an appointment, more than happy to do this work with her, because I feel like we can do it very, very quickly, that she's ready, very, very ready. But it's sometimes we can identify, but we can't always change it. But what they want you to do is actually do some reflection around that. Even if you can't change it all yourself, be aware of where it's coming from. So they're saying to me, you need to be in some form, in this case, in the driver's seat, if that makes sense. So, yeah.
Yes. We have a thank you from
Kathy.
She thanked, I think she was thanking other people commenting there, but you're spot on. I do need to get out again.
Okay.
And Rach says thank you.
Yeah, more than welcome. Happy to help.
Yeah.
So the Faeries, they were super excited.
One of the things I love about working with you is that you are so gentle, and everything you do, you get in and you get the work done, but you're so gentle in how you do it. There's no stress, there's no anxiety, it's done.
Yeah, and we need to get in and get out. We don't need to sit in the trauma at all. And part of that, just going with the flow, is I've just learnt to trust what I'm getting given and the guidance, and just go with it. And sometimes I am quite direct and I feel quite rude, and I have actually apologised to clients and said, look, I feel really rude. This is what they want me to say to you. And I've just gone blah. And they've gone, no, don't feel bad. That's exactly how I had to hear it. So, yeah, and it's about getting the result for the client. And I just love seeing people to be able to move forward in their lives.
That's exactly right.
So, yeah.
All right, lucky last. Teresa wants to know, is anything good going to happen in the near future?
Oh, Teresa. I feel like you've had lots of not so good going on. And life's felt like a really huge battle. Yes, there is good stuff going to come and happen. Absolutely there is. And they're saying to me that there is good stuff happening each day. It's about sometimes, even when we've got lots of really heavy stuff or stuff that's feeling like it really bogs us and drags us down, one of the ways to start shifting out of that energy into something different and a higher vibration is to look for those tiny little things that are going right. Even if it's when you get up and, thank you for being alive. We'll just start with that one. And it could just be, being grateful for being able to watch a beautiful sunset. it doesn't have to be a great, big, huge thing to start with. And these little things will slowly build. And sometimes we can't see some of the good that's going on in our everyday lives as well. They're saying to me, because you've had so many knocks, it's become hard for you to see the positive. And there's definitely good stuff going to happen for you. Absolutely there is. But you also need to believe that it's possible. What we believe and what we think and focus on is what we end up getting back from the universe. It's part of the law of attraction. And so by pulling out these tiny little things in your day, if you can't find anything big to go, wow, that was really cool that happened, it's little things. And even if you've got to write them down in a gratitude diary, just to reflect back on them at the end of the day or at the end of the week, this will start, and they're showing me through again the solar plexus, this will start changing and stepping you back into your own personal power. And personal power is about feeling like you deserve this stuff as well. And, you know, I feel like a degree of this is that you don't feel like you have a control over your direction. Whatever you're going, whichever direction you're going through in life. And they're saying you do. Look for the little things that you can choose. You can always choose how you react to a situation, and start with those little things. And they're showing me absolutely the future. They're showing me bright sunshine. They're showing me beautiful. There's definitely great things that are going to happen in the future, but you do need to believe it first. And it could take a while for this to come to, you know, the really bright, sunny future, but it's definitely out there. Good things are going to happen.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Rachel said nice, everyone and blessings, and Jody says thank you, has been great to listen to you. I just want to say thank you to you for your insight, for your energy, and for all that you have brought us tonight. I very much appreciate you.
Oh, thank you for having me on. It's been so much fun, and I've enjoyed, you know, giving people bits of information as well and teaching them all about this other world that exists out there with all the fairies and leprechauns and gargoyles, and helping to, you know, hopefully clear some direction for them as well.
No, it's amazing. Thank you to everyone who has commented, watched this, you know, been part of it, because without you guys, I'd be sitting here having a chat with Catherine by myself, which would be far less helpful for everyone.
Yes, and I second that absolutely to everyone that's been involved. Yeah, and I just hope everyone can look for a little bit of magic in their week coming up.
Find the
Get
magic
out in nature,
because it is there. And you're so right. All you have to believe, if you are struggling with anything, all you have to believe that it is possible. That's it. If you can just hang on to that fact, it is possible for my thing to get better, for this situation to get better. It is possible. That's all you have to do. The rest will take care of itself.
Yep, absolutely. And we can get in and change these belief systems as well. Even when people believe they can't get better, we need to change that, because, sometimes we can't, but a lot of the times we can.
That's right.
So thank you very much for having me on, and thank you everyone for being involved.
All right. Thank you so much, guys. We will be back next Friday night. The biggest announcement I have is that from June, I will be 2 nights a week.
Hey!
I'll be Thursday night and Friday night from June onwards, because my Friday nights are booking up and I have people asking me, and it's pretty exciting. So we'll be Thursday night, Friday night, 8:30 p.m. because my kids are in bed then.
Wonderful.
Yes. So we will see you next Friday night. Next Friday night, we have a lady coming on to discuss healthy eating, healthy lifestyle, cooking, and oh my gosh, so many interesting things. Also talking about gluten-free and intolerances and all of that sort of stuff as well. It's going to be super interesting, and I'm really looking forward to having her on. And we will catch you later. See you later, guys. Have a good weekend.